Hey guys, we're finally back with another episode of Book Beats. And in this episode, we're reading Slider by Peter Hotman. And it says David can eat an entire 16-inch pepperoni pizza in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. But he knows he can do better. In fact, he'll have to do better. He's going to compete in the Super Pigorino Bowl pizza eating contest. And he has to win it because he borrowed his mom's credit card and accidentally put $2,000 on it. So he really needs that prize money, like yesterday. And as if training to be a competitive eater weren't enough, he's also got to keep an eye on his little brother Mal, who, if the family believed in labels, would be labeled autistic. But they don't, so they just label him Mal. Not to mention the new weirdness going on between his two best friends, Sin and Heyman. Master talent Peter Hoffman has cooked up a rich narrative shot through with equal parts humor and tenderness, and the result is a middle-grade novel too delicious to put down. I had lots of students pick this up and read it super fast, like they were going to win a prize for it. And in the beginning, David starts talking about he wants to win a national, like the Guinness Book of World Records eating title. So most of the book centers around eating and hurrying up and eating. And so for the music to chow to, I thought, what better than this Eat It by Weird Al Yankovic. It's a parody of Beat It by Michael Jackson. So that's our book beats the song for it. And let's dive into the first slice. A 16-inch pizza, fresh from the oven, is a thing of beauty. Discs of pepperoni shimmer and glisten on a sea of molten mozzarella. Dark red oregano flex sauce bubbles up through the cheese, surrounded by a hand-tossed, artfully charred crust. Well, Heyman says, it's only 2 p.m, and a 5 o'clock shadow is already winning the battle for his face. Hayden Mankowski, that's his real name, is the hairiest kid I've known. He's been shaving since he was 10. I push my finger in the middle of the pizza. Still too hot. I lick my finger. You started, he says. Doesn't count. Heyman looks at Sin, who is folded into the booth across from us. Sin, does the finger lip count? Sin's wrists are resting atop her knees, and she's holding her phone about 3 inches from her nose. Her straight black hair hangs over her forehead and into her eyes. She looks like a smartphone with bangs. Her thumbs move, and her phone makes a faint whoosh. Sin is obsessed with her new phone. She says she's going the whole day communicating via text messages only. Verbal communication is so last millennium, she texted me this morning. Hey man, Sin and I are the 3 musketeers, even though we have no muskets, and Sin is the only one who's actually read the book. We've been best friends since before Heyman started shaving. Next fall, we'll all be starting high school together. Heyman checks his cell for his text. She says it doesn't count, he says after a moment. He lifts a slice of his sausage and mushroom. Mine's not that hot, he says, taking a bite from the tip. I notice he quickly follows it down with a gulp of dew. I shake my head and wait patiently for that magic moment when the sauce is not deadly hot, but the cheese is still soft. A minute later, Heyman takes another, more cautious bite. Seriously, he says, swallowing. It's not. Okay, I say. Time me. Heyman puts down a slice and with a greasy forefinger pulls up the stopwatch function on his phone and touches the start button. Go. I go. It's not the best pizza ever. The cheese is turned rubbery and the crust in the middle is kind of gooey. I down the whole thing in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Heyman groans, pulls out his wallet, and hands me a $10 bill. I grab the tenner with one hand and a slice of Heyman's sausage and mushroom with the other, because I'm still kind of hungry. You are a freak. Heyman puts away his wallet. I don't get how come you're not, huge. I have this metabolism, I say. Yeah, a really freaky metabolism, Heyman says. I bet you got a tapeworm a mile long. I laugh. My phone chirps. I look at Sin. Unfolded, she is as tall as me, 5'7.25", but folded, she is quite small. She's like one of those pop-up campers. I check my phone. 37 feet. What? I say. I hardly see her thumbs move. Sin Lee's texting skills are superhuman. My phone chirps. Tapeworms. I make a disgusted face. Sin does not look directly at me, but her lips curve into a smile. What's she saying? Heyman asks. She's riffing on your tapeworm theme, I say. Sin's thumbs dance. I look at my phone, waiting with dread and curiosity for the next text to arrive. 120 feet in Wales. Did you just look that up, or is that something you already knew? I asked. She just smiles. Of course she already knew. Sin is a trivia master. How long do they get in dogs? I asked. I asked about dogs because I have to give Arfie these chewy things every month in case he has worms, which he probably does because he eats rabbit turds in the backyard. Arfie is actually Mal's dog, but I'm the one who has to take care of him. Mal can't be trusted with taking care of dog stuff. More on Mal later. I saw this guy on TV who eats all kinds of weird things like maggots and ostrich guts. I could never do that. In fact, I have a rather sophisticated palate. I like lobster and artichokes and stuff like that. When I'm hungry, I can eat just about anything, but I draw the line at maggots. There are many things I will not eat. Sauerkraut and pickled pig's feet, for example. Or if Heyman wanted to bet me $10 that I couldn't eat a bunch of rabbit turds, he could keep his money. Arfie, he'd take that bet in a heartbeat. Heyman and I are done eating, but Sin is just getting started on her kid-sized veggie deluxe. I think she must be making a point, because I've seen her eat a lot faster. She picks a mushroom from her pizza and eats it slowly, showing me how it's done. You're supposed to eat the whole thing, not pick it apart and take an hour a slice, I tell her. The whole point of pizza is that everything is together. Sin pretends to ignore me and takes the smallest possible nibble from her scrap of mushroom, just to bug me. She still has 3/4 of her pizza to go. Sonia Thomas would have downed that whole thing in about 30 seconds, I say. Sonia Thomas, a.k.a. the Black Widow, is this 105-pound Korean-American woman who once ate 564 oysters in 8 minutes for the world record. Sin glares at me, her eyes narrowing. I am not Sonia Thomas, she says verbally. You talked, I say. She glares harder. And I didn't mean because she's Korean, I say. I mean because she's a girl. You're an idiot. She plucks a sliver of onion from her miniature pie and places it delicately on her tongue. While we wait for Sin to finish her pizza, Heyman and I talk about a python eating a goat video we saw on YouTube. Sin is playing with her phone, ignoring us and taking a small bite ever so often. A whole goat! That would be like eating 20 pizzas at once, Heyman says. Joey Chestnut could do it. Joey Chestnut is the most famous eater in the world. He once ate 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I thought you were a Juki fan. I am. Joey had the advantage that day. He's like 230 pounds. Juki's only 150. And he only got beat by half a dog. I saw it on YouTube. Juki Garofalo downed 69 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes. But what was weird was he was trying to beat Joey and he couldn't get that last half dog down. I mean, I couldn't imagine not being able to eat half a hot dog no matter how full it was. Especially if it was for the world record. But I guess that just makes it even more amazing. Because you just know that Juki had to have taken it right to the absolute limit if he had to stop with half a hot dog. Juki's got heart, I say. Heyman's phone chirps. I know it's Sin because she's got that little smile. Heyman checks the message, smiles confusedly, and shows it to me. The merit of all things lies in their difficulty. Shakespeare, I guess? The Three Musketeers, Sin says, verbally. Well, that's it for the first chapter. So if you're interested in this, I do have a copy, and there are several copies in our school library. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will link the song down below. Remember, that is a parody, so it's like we used the song, like vocals and background, and we made up a different lyrics to it. So if you're into that, it's down there below. Have a great day.